On this Premier League weekend. Don't forget, of course, we have seen 4 games today after the 4 yesterday that began with 7 for the champions. Liverpool, point apiece between Brighton and 10-man Sheffield United. Leicester winning at Spurs, we'll show you that in a moment. 6-2 in that incredible game between Manchester United and Leeds United. And Villa winning 3-0 at 10-men West Brom. Burnley, Wolves and Chelsea, West Ham to come on the Monday football. So the top of the table looks like this. Liverpool 4 clear. They will be top at Christmas, but Leicester have gone second, Manchester United third, and Everton occupying the other Champions League spot. Tottenham slipping out of the top 4, and as you can see, Villa up to 9th, 22 points. They also have a game in hand. Chelsea and West Ham in 8th and 10th meet each other. Now, of course, in the week, heading to Anfield, people were talking about Tottenham staying top of the pile. They lost that, and they were beaten today at home to Leicester as well, Michael. Harry Kane with a great chance at 0-0.
Yeah, a couple of tough games on the bounce, away at Liverpool and then at home to Leicester, but you'd expect this Tottenham side to pick up something. Big chance for Harry Kane to start with. Leicester are a funny team, they can beat anybody, but they seem to be able to get beat by anybody as well, and this was a real poor decision from Serge Aurier. I don't understand why the referee didn't give a foul in the first place, but on reflection, I don't think there's any doubt whatsoever that it's a penalty. It's inside the box. The referee's gone and had a look at VAR and come to the right conclusion.
Yeah, definitely penalty, and obviously Vardy down the middle. Expect nothing else from him, but they definitely deserved that Leicester the way they played, and they had chance after chance. Lovely ball down the sides, lovely first touch, and what a finish is just bottom right hand corner. Dyer puts his hand out, thinks it's offside. He's not knowing. He's starting to do some silly dance, but then obviously, the dreaded VAR comes in and comes to effect. It comes into effect, and then it's offside. It's a shame though, because it was more than Leicester deserved, and unfortunately, they continue to press forward, Michael, didn't they?
Yeah, I mean, you feel sorry for him because that was an unbelievable goal. But then once he does that dance, then you don't feel so sorry for him. Talking about feeling sorry for people, Alderweireld couldn't do anything about that. Vardy gets up high at the back post and heads it into him and doubles their lead.
And then Schmeichel keeping his clean sheet intact.
Yeah, and Tom's been one of the best players in the Premier League this year. You fancy him to score from that. You don't fancy him to miss that. And that brings him back into the game. But Leicester deserve what they got. Jose Mourinho, he's had 3 games. The Palace where they were 1-0 up, and they defended and scored in the last minute. They go to a tough one, as Michael says, at Anfield, lose to Firmino Hideo, but they're at home to Leicester. We're talking about them being contenders for the title, and they just defend deep. Does Kane, does Son, people like that, talented players who want to get on the ball, want to spend all that time running back into shape. I know you'd hate to do it, Michael. If I kept dragging you back 50 yards, it just doesn't sit right. And as much as they're getting results, the players would buy in. But when you look at the games like today, with teams like Leicester on the front foot and controlling the game, you've got to be winning games.
Interesting. OK, more thoughts from Michael and Paul in a moment. After the managerial ones, beginning with Brendan Rodgers.
Well done, Brendan. Is that one of those occasions where you get, as a coach, as much satisfaction from the performance as you do the result? Yeah, we had everything, and I think we see the learning from the time we played here towards the end of last season, and you've seen how Tottenham have played this season, But I thought in the first half we really controlled the game with and without the ball. Denied them any counter-attacks where they're very, very strong, but played with confidence and played with a nice rhythm in our game. And but we looked a really, really good side and deserved to be in front. And then second half, I thought we controlled the game without the ball, but still looked a real threat and still had the confidence to play. And actually, with a better final pass and a wee bit of finesse, we might have scored more. Unfortunate with the goal that was disallowed as well. That's the thickness of a line on the telly, it looked like. But no, I thought over the course of the game we were outstanding, and it was a very good win for us.
Did you start off in exactly the right way with a high tempo?
Yeah, it's how we like to start the game, and I think that when you look at the statistics of Tottenham, they've scored so many goals in the first 15 minutes of games, so it was going to be important that you did start well, because they have that quality that they've shown, but with the players that they have. So, but I thought we started with good control, good composure, worked the ball through their lines, and as I said, we arrived up into the final third and with quality.
Not a good week for you. How do you assess the week?
it's not a good week in terms of results. We could be here as the ones that broke Liverpool record at Anfield, getting 3 points at Anfield and going to this game from the high of this level of confidence and happiness. I have to admit that probably we start this game from the low of that disappointment of not getting what you deserve in that match. But Leicester also lost in the past match, and they came with a positive attitude, which we didn't start. And basically was that, and then after that the game was a game that could go in both directions. But again, it's a game that we lose with the penalty and with the own goal.
So that's 1 point from 9. How do you get yourself back on track now?
It's not 1 point of 9. It's many points in 14 matches, and that's for me the situation.
That's his view. 1 point from 9, just a bump in the road for Spurs, having not lost, of course, prior to that since the opening weekend.
Well, it depends what your class as a bump in the road. If you're thinking that they're going to win the league, then no, I think they'll probably come back down to earth, and probably Tottenham fans are regathering their thoughts, let's say.
Are you saying they can't win the league now?
I'm not saying they can't, but I've never been convinced. The hard thing is when they're winning and winning and winning, you sit here and you say, I'm not convinced about this style, you know, and you bang the drum and you bang the drum and they keep winning, and all of a sudden you start thinking, am I looking stupid here? But then it happens. And it's actually what I'd say about Manchester United as well. They're winning and winning and winning now. Can they go and dictate a game in possession against a good team, or are they going to keep falling back to that counter-attack against the lesser sides? So my gut feeling is that Tottenham, Manchester United, they'll have good seasons, but they're not the all-round team of a Liverpool at the moment. So, yeah, my feeling is the same. I'm not surprised that Tottenham are dropping points. They're exceptional at what they do in terms of counter-attacking against good teams, but they do need to show another side of their game when they're playing at home against lesser teams. They need to be able to swat them away, beat them easy. I mean, the great teams of the past can do both. You can counter-attack with the best of them. You can, if you want to fight, they'll fight. If you want to play, they'll play you off the park. If you want to come onto them and really be aggressive, they'll counter-attack you to death. The great teams have got Liverpool are a great team. They can do anything. I just think the likes of Tottenham, the likes of Manchester United at the moment are a little bit one-dimensional. They're a little bit reliant on counter-attacking, and they need to develop more in their game.
Would you go along with that? Would you?
I think he's absolutely spot on.
Yeah.
I really, really do. The second time I agree with him tonight. No, but I think
Don't make a habit of it.
I think when you look at Liverpool and you talk about Klopp, this is his 5th season at Liverpool. He's got a now well-oiled machine. The balance to the team is absolutely spot on, and he's got strength and depth off the bench. With Mourinho, I'm not sure what team he wants to play. You know, I mean, has he got the back four sorted out? I mean, the penalty that Aurier gave away was absolutely ridiculous. And I kind of worry about Kane and the top players, you know what I mean? Because obviously they're players who won't want to play like that week in and week out. But saying that, you know, Leicester are outstanding, you know what I mean? Big game for him. Vardy's been flying. I mean, Vardy's 34 now, I think in January. You know, I think the best thing to happen to Vardy was not playing for England, retirement for England. I'd love to have him back for England because I think if Kane's not fit, then he's the one who should come in. But he looks sharper than ever, Mike.
Yeah, he defies age, doesn't he? You're supposed to get slower as you get older. He seems to be staying as quick as he's ever been.
Just on the counter-attacking theme that you were putting Manchester United and Tottenham in there, Leicester have got twice as many points already away from home.
Yeah.
17 goals they've got on the road.
Yeah, and
they've had their problems at home.
They're a similar team. They're very good on the counter-attack. They can play. And don't get me wrong, these teams are very, very good teams. And they can play, you know, the lesser teams off the park. Of course they can. But we're talking the Premier League. We're talking standards that are right here. We're talking the world, European and English league champions in Liverpool. They can do a bit of everything. And that's the barometer. That's what everyone's trying to get to. So, yes, it's an open year. Of course it is. There's been so many teams that have already been top of the league. But if you're asking me, you know, what do you think of Tottenham's chances of winning it? What do you think of Manchester United? Yes, they're going to have good seasons. They look good. But they're just not the overall package of Liverpool just yet.
I actually think, Mike, and that's before we go back to Tottenham, if that stadium would have been full, Tottenham fans would not tolerate that performance today. They won't allow Tottenham to sit deep when they've got a chance of going top of the table. The fans wouldn't allow it. So at the moment, Mourinho's getting away with it. They got to play differently to me, especially at home, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, it's true. Tottenham fans are used to good play. And while they're winning, you get by. A little bit like Kane and Son, you get by while you're winning. As soon as the chips are down, then there might be a few different voices.
Interesting. Paul, Michael, thank you for your company tonight. Familiar name, finishes the weekend, and indeed at Christmas, top of the table. See you soon.